What's on, ladies and gentlemen? My name's Ross, I like games, and today we're going to be looking at a lovely new battle card, a lovely new upgrade, which is very nice for Predacons. You see, I recently showed you a new card for Dinobots. I like Dinobots, but let's not be ignoring the Predacons. No, I don't have such a childish glee when I see the Predacons, but that doesn't mean we can't have some fun with Predacing here. Now, one thing to point out, yesterday when we talked about Dinobots, we said that you could play a Volcanicus deck, playing the Wave 2 Dinobots. We said that we could play a Wave 1 Dinobot deck, or indeed that we could play a mixture of Wave 1 and Wave 2 Dinobots without playing Volcanicus. When we talk about the Predacons here, there's nothing else. You're playing a Predacon deck. Now, you could not play Predacon Enigma and not play Predacing, but essentially the Predacons here really do exist as a deck in and of themselves. You can play some of these in other decks, but really here, it's either you play the Wave 2 Predacons, or you just put the odd Predacon into another deck, which you can do, but it's not going to be anywhere near as good, this particular battle card. So what does this particular battle card actually do? Well, it's called Tooth and Claw. It's got an orange icon, good for attacking. It gives you +1 attack, good for attacking. It can only be put on Predacons, making it way better in a Predacon deck. And it's an upgrade utility that allows you to have a weapon or an armor in its armor slot. Now, of course, you can usually put an armor in your armor slot. That's not exactly particularly exciting. What is particularly exciting is the idea of putting a weapon in your armor slot. It means that essentially any of your Predacons can have a weapon and another weapon along with this. Now, this does take up your utility slot, so you don't get to play any other utility, but you do get +1 attack. Now, just getting +1 attack in and of itself is not particularly exciting, because you can have that on Armed Hovercraft, which when you put it on a ranged character, does 1 damage to each enemy. Having said that, if we're going for an attacking deck, we don't really want something like Armed Hovercraft, because it's got a blue icon. So if you want +1 attack with an orange icon, how about something like Matrix of Leadership, which has both an orange and a blue icon, but can only actually be put onto Autobots. Just use thermal weaponry. There we go. We do also have tandem targeting system. Again, +1 attack, and you do have access there to that orange icon. The problem is that it's a convention exclusive card, which is not ideal. Though it is also a utility, so in fact, it's extremely similar here. Just having +1 attack on a utility with an orange icon. And actually, looking at the cards we've had so far, +1 attack with your utility and an orange icon, it's not that easy to get. I've just run you through a bunch of options. The best option really is probably Tandem Targeting System, which is not the cheapest card we've ever seen. Although, if you're an Autobot, Matrix of Leadership is probably better. Anyway, I digress. So what we have here is a really nice attacking card. You're giving up your utility slot, but you're getting +1 attack for it. And this basically says, if you want to play an aggressive Predacon deck, this is probably where you want to be going. Orange icon, +1 attack in your utility slot, lets you have 2 weapons. And the second that anyone says you can have 2 weapons, like me, you're probably thinking, hey, grenade launcher. Because Grenade Launcher gives you +4 attack, and it gets scrapped after you play it, but you can at least have 2 of these on at once. Although, it's kind of awkward to play 2 of those in one turn, so maybe you're not going to get round to doing that. But it is an option. What might be a better option if you've got a melee character, and if we have a look at all 5 of the Predacons, 4 of them are melee characters. The exception here is Dive Bomb, who is a specialist, but all of the Predacons other than Dive Bomb are melee characters here. So if you're playing Predacons, you're probably playing Power Sword. If you're playing an aggressive Predacon deck, you're probably playing Power Sword here. Now you've also got access to Body Armor, which gives you Bold Free, but does have an orange icon, so that might be worth popping in here. And I know that Power Sword does have a blue icon, but it's worth putting a couple of blue icons in your deck if you're getting bold free for doing so. And now a character here can have 2 Power Sword on and is actually getting bold 6. And of course, some of you have probably realised here that this actually fits really beautifully with the skill of Predacons, which gives it 5 weapon slots. And what's really funny here is that if you put Tooth and Claw onto a Predacons, it will gain a 6th weapon slot. Now, whether you're ever actually going to get 6 weapons on there, I don't know. But it's kind of interesting and kind of fun that you could do it. The question is, do we want to go for a hyper-aggressive Predacons deck? I mean, if we have a look at Predacons itself, you've got 5 weapon slots. So that would seem to suggest we're going fairly aggressive. And it's got an attack of 7, which is high for a combiner, although not quite as high as the ridiculous 9 we saw yesterday on Optimus Maximus. But still, it's high for a combiner. It's just higher than other ones that aren't Optimus Maximus. And if we have a look at some of the characters here we've seen, Razor Claw, when you flip it into bot mode, you can attack untapped characters as if they were tapped. That seems fairly aggressive. Predacon Rampage has PS2 in alt mode. That seems fairly aggressive. But we're not seeing a huge amount of bold here. In fact, we could also have a look here at Razor Claw that in alt mode has bold 1. Dive Bomb in bot mode lets you scrap an action if you can choose it at random from your opponent's hand. And then Predacon Rampage has healing. So we've actually got a little bit of disruption and repairing going on with the Predacons here. They're not like Dinobots. Dinobots are full on aggro. You can play them other ways, but Dino Chomp, bold 5. Jaws of Steel, bold 2. Grimlock, bold 3. Dinobot Enigma, bold 2. This is made as a kind of like, whoa, we're going to see how much damage we can do. This is kind of hilarious. That's not to say that it's the only way to play Dinobots, but it is to say that Dinobots are clearly designed as a full aggro deck. This upgrade utility here is great if you're playing the Predacons as an aggro deck. And certainly the fact that Predacons has 5 weapon slots would lead you to playing extra weapons here. And essentially that is the use of this upgrade. When you combine, you get to take one of each type of upgrade and move it over to the combiner. So this basically says, look, I'm playing more weapons. And I'm playing Tooth of Claw that lets me attach more weapons. And when I combine, I'm going to have more weapons on the field. This is a card which basically says I am going heavy on weapons. I am going to make sure that I am going for the weapons so that I can really go a little bit aggro here. But it's going to help when you combine into Predacons. And it's going to help you with your attacking. If you don't want to go full aggro, I'm not sure how much you're going to love this card. But given the Predacons can take 5 weapons, it's certainly a route you may well wish to go down. Now, it is very sad that none of the Predacons are actually ranged characters, so you cannot take advantage of armed hovercraft. But you certainly could take advantage of the aforementioned Power Sword, for argument's sake. Or you could use something like Drill Arms, +1 attack when you put it on a character, scrap an enemy armor, if you cannot draw a card. That could be a fun little thing, although it does have a blue icon, so you need to be a little bit careful with that. Or you can have a look at something like Multi-Tool, which does have a blue icon, unfortunately, but lets you play an extra upgrade when you attach it to a specialist, and Dive Bomb is a specialist here, so that would potentially allow you to get more of these weapons down somewhat quickly. You could even go Static Laser of Ironhide here, which gives you +3 attack, although because none of these are Ironhide, you would have to take 2 damage when you attach it. Or you could go Thermal Weaponry here. Orange icon, +1 attack. When you're attacking, you've got PS1 for each blue icon you flip. And I've mentioned a few blue icon cards here, so this gives you an orange icon, ups your attack, while also letting you potentially take advantage of flipping those blue icons that you'd rather not have in the deck. The point is, this is a very nice upgrade. It's a utility which ups your attack, it's got an orange icon, and it lets you have extra weapons. And this is really rather handy if you're going aggressive and if you want to play a bunch of weapons. And look, like I've said, Predacon can have 5 weapons, so that is at least something you've got to be considering. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I like this in an aggressive Predacon deck, but I would like to know if you like this. So please do let me know in the comment section. Go nuts! But please do remember the most important rule as always. Be nice, would ya? And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, and follow me on Twitter, where we talk Transformers and other games. But by far the most important thing as always is to look after yourselves until next time. Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross and you've been watching Wossy Plays.